Watch this. 1, 2, 3. Welcome to the video. Yo, what's up guys and welcome back. Hope you guys enjoyed that intro. That lovely piece of visual magic is actually from a friend of mine named Kela Morelli. If you're not familiar with Kela Morelli, he basically exploded on the magic scene years ago. Kela then started producing an absurd amount of original magic before eventually he got picked up to consult. He's consulted for the likes of David Blaine, David Copperfield, Dynamo, you name it, anybody that's done something cool and visual on TV probably in the last 10-15 years, Kela probably had a hand in it. Now Kela's a friend of mine and it's hard to describe Kela, okay? He's, by every definition, I think he's a genius. He thinks about magic more than most people, and he thinks about magic in a different way. Well, he tries to. He really tries to look at it from another perspective. A perspective that you and I might not even imagine.
They look exactly like us. Whatever you do, please do not open that box.
There's that saying, there are things you know, there are things you don't know, and there are things you don't know, right? Do you follow me? So that's kind of where Kela lives. He lives in this place that anything he creates blows all proportion and perspective of what magic currently is out of the water. For those of you who are new to magic, you may not know of Kela as he's been off the scene for quite a while. Well, he's kind of making a comeback right now. Now, when I was in LA a couple years ago, he gave me a bunch of, these are his packaging for his methods. These are original tricks that Kela's never released. The one that you just saw in the intro was actually one of those tricks. Highly visual, completely impossible, and he's got some real gems in here that I will not share, that I won't share. However, today I thought it'd be really cool if we take a look at what Kela's up to, because everything this guy does in some form or another will inspire you, will frighten you, or will straight up make you become a fan of magic. So he's got this new Instagram that we're gonna check out. Absolutely insane. Kela is also starting to release some of his material, which is very rare for him. He does not do this very often. And one of the visual pieces of magic that we're gonna be looking at is actually released today as a download, and you guys can go get it. I left the link below, but we'll get into that. I'll show you the trick. I mean, strap your eyeballs in, ladies and gentlemen. We're taking a look at Kela Morelli. So here we go. This is the Instagram page that Kela has put up. It's called The Nothing Experiment. You guys should definitely go, links below, definitely go subscribe to this because you're gonna be blown away by what you see. I'm actually very excited to look into this. So, first of all, this I have seen. This is the melting card illusion. This is what's available right now for download if you wanna purchase it. So, here's how it looks like.
And they make it look like it just melts through the deck. It looks really cool. And most people know that this is done with a cut card, where you just take the card, you place it up against the edge of the deck, and then you just move it up and down, right on the edge, and it kind of makes it look like it's melting, right? That's cool, but I really think this is how it was meant to be seen. If you take a card, obviously no cuts, and you just start with the corner. You can kind of get it to make it look like it's melting. We can try it a bit more, like this.
How good does that look? My goodness.
And it's just a really cool illusion when you use a whole card.
I like how he's downplaying it. Oh, it's just a cool illusion. It's insane. That's an insane illusion. So that's available for download if you guys want to do it. I'm gonna tell you right now that that is something you can do for camera. It's not something you can do in person, but because we're self-isolating, you want to put up a cool video and impress your friends, definitely check this out. Next up, this is probably my favorite thing that he's done. This one blew my head in about 5 times over. Check this out.
Experiences where we make assumptions and they're just proved wrong, and it's extremely upsetting. What's interesting is the magician can use these assumptions to kind of play with your mind in a pleasurable way. Like if you picked a 7 of clubs, he could say, watch, I will make it vanish and appear in between these 2 cards, and this is a trick that we know and love, and then it happens, right? But there's so much more to be played with. You see, seeing that the box is empty makes you assume that what you think should come from it came from there. Seeing a card printed and a card printed makes you assume that this card is from the same deck and also printed, which it's not printed and it's not even from the same deck. This is not even a real deck. This is just a piece of paper and plastic block. And to be honest, it's very hard to trust your eyes.
So what I really love about this specific illusion, it is an optical illusion that does play like a magic trick. But what he's saying, I think, is very cool, because he is saying that, yes, this is a trick that we all know. However, you're taking so many things for granted. You're assuming so many things by just looking at the placement of the cards, because we're so used to seeing things that we're assuming that that's a deck of cards. We're assuming that those cards are normal. We're all these other things, and he starts to decompose your reality bit by bit, piece by piece, and that's just a really beautiful piece right there. Check this one out. This one's gonna do your head in. Okay, get ready.
Okay, follow me on this for a second. The ink on this card is 2D. We know it's flat. The card itself looks flat, but we know there's a little bit of depth, so it's 3D. Our limited human perception makes it very hard to understand the 4th dimension, but that's okay because we can kind of imagine it, what it might look like.
What?
And that's a very cool thing. To me,
what
this is kind of what
is
it might look
even
like.
That?
But I know that's different to everyone else.
What is that even?
And science fiction movies have used tech and concepts that did not exist at the time, and these ideas have inspired really smart people to
and then just casually holds the deck up,
create them in real life. So sometimes just imagining what might be possible can start the ball rolling into making it a real reality.
You're probably rewinding this video to see if that card was protruded the entire time or when it happened. Yeah, same. Okay, next video. This one's great.
So even when someone doesn't want to see something, they can make you see it. You see, it's really funny how once we see something, it's hard to unsee it. This piece of paper makes this card look like a deck of cards.
Correct.
If I hold it with 2 hands like I would at a poker table, then that increases and strengthens the illusion. So much so that it makes it hard to see the difference between the illusion and reality, even though we know we saw a piece of paper and a card.
That's, again, it's so great because we've used that premise so many times with that piece of paper. We've seen gimmicks created with this piece of paper attached to the box already, but having it out there and explaining that this creates an illusion and then bringing it home with the actual deck appearing is so great, so great, so great. So he's got a few videos here. He doesn't have many videos, but we're gonna take a look at every one because they're all really interesting. Like, look at this one. Quick meditation on creativity.
My goal is with my eyes shut to map movements of objects in the flow of my fingers to where I can sense what it's like and what it looks like, the shape, weight, size, so that my imagination can become a tool in creativity.
What's great about that again is that he's swiping. I mean, clearly it's a phone, and it's not so much because normally when we look at a phone floating or an object floating, how are magicians normally floating it? They're floating it like this, right? And then they're letting it go. So you assume anyways that there's something holding it up for it to maintain that position. By changing that position to this, I mean, that is a really powerful subtlety. It's such a small subtlety, but it sells the illusion so well. And again, that's just another testament to his creativity. He's looking at things differently. We create illusions based on the method. We justify the effect based on the method. So whatever the method is, we build the effect around that. He has taken this and is like, no, this is what the effect has to be, and that's it. And that's a really, really cool thing. So I've played with this idea using this pyramid. So you can take a pyramid, you can build this online, and you can create a hologram with your phone. And I did it once in a video where I had like a Drake dancing, and then I plucked him out and I plucked a little Lego man out. So I knew there was something there, but the way he uses this is really cool because he does it upside down. Anyways, take a look. So we know what he's getting at. We know what's going to happen here is that the coin's going to eventually melt through. So the vanish is great. This part's phenomenal. So you can start to see the coin melt through. Look at that and watch. I mean, that is just great. Not only is the illusion great, the idea is great, but then just the melting of the coin through was for me enough. But he's gone so far as to have the coin actually appear in real life through this augmented reality or this virtual reality. Now, Kalen's not only known for his gimmicks and his way of thinking. He's also a great card magician, has great chops, great hands, whether it's cardistry or card magic, and here he's just gonna demonstrate some work on his double lift while he talks about it, so check this out.
I can remember back when I was like 18, and I was like working on single card switches, you know, things that look like they switch, and obviously we all know a few, but I remember I was at this restaurant, and I was like, ah, man, like getting into a double, like handling a card as a double is a little like weird, and it was hard for me at the time. So I remember like thinking, okay, like I start with a single card, and then I show it, I place it in the middle, and then it's like back on top.
How smooth is that? We're gonna stop there. If your head's not done in by now, then I don't know what you're waiting for. Kalen, as you can see, is on a whole different level when it comes to creativity, when it comes to thinking about magic. And I think that's just a great thing for you guys to take from this. Don't sit here and be like, I'm gonna recreate those effects. I'm gonna try and figure out how he does it. What I want you to take from all of this is just his perception and his angle on how he approaches a magic effect. He looks at it differently than most people, and that allows him to further present a greater illusion. There are things that we perceive and that we take for granted as magicians that we see every day, and he's just been able to really dissect that and to re-engineer the way we look at a deck of cards with our assumptions. And I think that that's just a great lesson to be learned for any of you out there, is ask yourself questions. Really ask yourself questions about everything you're doing. Say, why am I doing this? Why do people do this? How can I do this differently? How can I make this make sense more? Don't be held back by the method. Really allow yourself to transcend through that point where you get stopped by a method and think about the effect. Think about what it is you want to convey and why it is you want to convey that, and why do people do it this way, and how you can come up with a way to do it differently or more justifiably. I really wanted to chime in because this was brought to my attention 2 days ago, and Kalen's always been so low key. I thought he deserves a video dedicated to his creativity. If you guys want to go check him out, definitely check him out. I highly recommend it. Support this guy, you won't regret it, and stay tuned for more of what Kalen's got coming up. So guys, that's it for me. Just a quick video. If you did enjoy this, leave a like below, subscribe if you're new here, and we'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.